Hi, if this is your first time watching one of these videos, my name is Crystal, and these videos are my response to the recovery study called Weight Loss Bootcamp from Setting Captives Free. This is a free online study and I have it linked below. I would love it if you would walk this journey with me, especially if you struggle with overeating. So today's lesson is lesson number 5, the Lord's Battle Plan. God equips us with everything we need to do His will. When we develop our plans without consulting the Lord, we are doomed to fail. The Lord might lead us to victory in ways that make no sense to the world. In this study, King Jehoshaphat asked God what they should do about an invading army. 2 Chronicles 20:12. For we have no power to face this vast army that is attacking us. We do not know what to do, but our eyes are on you. And God replied with a strange battle plan and tells them not to be afraid or discouraged. And this is straight from the lesson. And today we must still ask God for the particular way to fight against our specific temptations, a way to win the battle against the vast enemy of gluttony that comes against you. This lesson really made me understand the need for prayer. The need to go to God daily and ask Him for a plan for your eating for that day. If we just, there's so many plans out there. And, He even talks about intermittent fasting, and there's the TED Talk at the very beginning intro lesson about intermittent fasting, and that's fine. That's a good option, but our plan needs to come from God. Now, if that's what He leads us to do, that's fine. For instance, He has offered me the tool of Mangiorno, and then for a long time He offered me the tool of Ozempic, and that was effective for a long time. And like I said, I've lost 50 pounds, but I've kind of stalled out, and so that's why my doctor switched me to Mangiorno. I don't think I ever mentioned that I do have type 2 diabetes. I wouldn't say it's out of control. My numbers have always kind of been right on the, pre-diabetic and post-diabetic, and I'm just over the line. But that has given me the opportunity to have the semaglutide products. So I feel like that's in His plan for me, He's giving me these tools. He knows what my struggles are. He knows where I need help. But then there's just this daily plan, like this daily, okay, today this is what we're going to eat. This is how much we're going to eat. And so, as we study through this study, He's going to give us more information. The leader of the study is going to give us more information about that. But that is so crucial. Praying daily for that guidance. I mean, we're in the Old Testament, we read of lots of battles where they did not inquire of the Lord and it did not go well. So we know that the only way we're going to win this battle is by inquiring of the Lord. I have had an interesting day. Today is Sunday, and so I went to church this morning, and in our Bible class, we are studying the Kyle Idleman book, Gods of War. And it is really a book about idols and addiction. And it's a video series, so we watched video number 2 today, and it was about food. And I think Satan got in my head today because I got so embarrassed. I felt like everybody in this room is looking at me going, yeah, she's the one who's got the problem with food. Look how fat she is. And, I have absolutely no idea that anybody in that room was thinking that, but that's how I felt. I felt just so ashamed and so embarrassed. I really, I spoke out a little bit in class, and, I sort of was defending my walk and saying that, well, I'm trying, and I know it's taking me a long time, and it's so shameful and embarrassing that this particular sin is so outside. Everybody sees me. Everybody sees my weight, and everybody knows I have an eating problem. And that is just so embarrassing. And, most of the time it doesn't bother me, but Satan really got to me today, and I felt very, very shameful. And I wasn't really sure where that was coming from until I talked to somebody about it later, and they said, well, you know where that's coming from, don't you? And yes, it's coming from Satan. And it was a hard day. It was a hard day. I like I said, I was just embarrassed. And, nobody likes to feel that way. So I'm coming to a better understanding that was Satan, and I've been praying about it, and I feel like, God's got me. He's going to take care of me. One good news is my Fitbit is working again. It's been about a 3-week process here of getting things worked out, but finally it's working. And that is very encouraging to me because for the last few days, I didn't have any tracking or recording of my steps. And, if it doesn't go into the Fitbit, then those steps don't count, right? At least that's kind of how I feel. So that's really good news. As far as my eating today, lunch was fine. It was a small meal. We were at church this morning and then came home, and then we were at church from 5 to 8:30 tonight. So we didn't eat before we went to church. So we ate when we got home. And I was very hungry, and I overate. I definitely overate. I did part of it. I waited until I was hungry, but then I didn't stop when I'd had enough. I just, I made my food, and I was just intending to eat it all, and I didn't really need to eat it all. I probably could have eaten a third of what I ate and been just fine if I had let my sense of fullness catch up to me. So, I say all of this to say this is a struggle, and I'm certainly not, I certainly don't have things figured out, and I'm still leaning on God entirely to get this figured out, and I'm doing right sometimes, and I'm doing wrong sometimes. So, sometimes the other day I was looking on YouTube, and I was looking at the weight loss videos and thinking, okay, well, how is this going to compare to those? And they're all like, here's how I lost 162 pounds, or here's how I lost 50 pounds, and I could put that up there. Here's how I lost 50 pounds. But, I'm not done. I still have a long way to go. I know they say when you want to learn something, or you want to lose weight, or you want to learn how to manage your money or whatever, you don't go to the person who doesn't have it figured out. You go to the person who has it figured out. Well, I'm sorry, I don't have it figured out. But I feel like the person who presents the lessons they sort of do have it figured out. That's a human being, and they're going to have times where they do better and worse, I'm sure. But they do sort of have it figured out. So I'm pointing you to them. I'm also pointing you to God. God's really got it figured out. He's got all the answers. He's got all the solutions. And so that's why I keep saying, let's walk this journey together, because I don't have it figured out. But, maybe I'm a couple steps ahead of you because I've been through some of this previously. So come on with me, and let's keep walking, and let's try to get all 30 days in here. And I think there's a second lesson. There's a second 30 days after that. So who knows? Maybe we'll just keep going. But thanks again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for walking with me. Again, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're going through. Tell and if hopefully there's more than one person watching, and maybe we can form a community of people who are walking together. Thanks so much. You have a good evening.